Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we are continuing Unit 11 in our geometry unit. Today we are going to be talking about specific polygons. So first of all, let's do a quick review. What is geometry? Well, geometry is the study of shapes and figures. That's why we're looking at a bunch of different figures, and today we're going to be looking at a lot of different kinds of shapes. The first thing we learned about in our geometry unit was our 5 figures. We have points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. A point is a specific location. It is a little dot. It's represented by a dot on a number line, or it shows a specific location on like a map or on like your Fortnite map when you set your marker. That is a point. That is the exact location where you are going to go. So a point in math shows an exact location. It can show a fraction, it can show a whole number, but it is an exact point on a number line. And it's just a little dot. And remember, when you point at something, your tip of your finger looks like a little dot because that is a point. All right, next we have a line. And with this, I want you to think of a number line. When you draw a number line, you draw a line and there are 2 arrows at the end of that line because numbers go on forever in both directions. A line also goes on forever and ever in both directions, okay? So that's why we have arrows pointing in this way and this way. So a line is just a line with 2 arrows on the end that goes on forever and ever in both directions. Next, we have a line segment. It's very close to our line, but instead of having arrows, it has 2 points on the ends. That's because a line segment is a segment of a line. It's just a specific part of that line. So if we were on a number line, the number line goes on forever and ever in both directions. A line segment would be the distance between the numbers 2 and 4. So that is a beginning and end point. That's why it has 2 points here. It has a beginning point and an end point. It's kind of like a movie, how you have a start time and an end time, or a road trip. You have a start time, you get in the car, and then you're going to have an end time when you get out of the car. A line segment is just a chunk of time. It's not time, the whole thing. A line is like the whole thing going on and on forever and ever. A line segment is a specific part of that, okay? It is represented by 2 endpoints, and that signifies the beginning and the end. It also kind of looks like a segue, because a segment and segue sound very similar. You can imagine yourself on the Segway, like mall cop, driving around. We have our 2 tires right here, which is our 2 points, and then this is like your board, okay? Next, we have a ray. Ray is our favorite because he sings in the band One Direction. That's because Ray goes forever in one direction. So Ray has a point, and it has a line coming out of it, one line only coming out, because Ray, when he sings, goes, ah, and it just goes in one direction. When I sing, my voice goes in one direction. It doesn't go everywhere. It just goes in the one direction I'm pointing it at. And so you can also remember a ray because of a ray of sunshine. We have the sun right here. We have an arrow coming out of it, and it's like a ray of sunshine coming off of that. So we've got Ray, and he sings in the band One Direction because the ray only points in one direction. Next, we have an angle. An angle has 2 lines coming out of a point. So an angle is like a double ray. It has 1 point, and instead of just having 1 line coming out, it has 2. And when it does that, it makes like almost a V shape. And if you turn it upside down, it looks like an A, a capital A. So that is how we remember angle, because the word angle, the A has an angle inside of it right there. This is our midpoint up at the top, and then it has 2 lines coming down, showing that it is an angle. All right, next, let's talk about what a polygon is and what it is not. A polygon is a shape whose lines connect. You are going to listen to an awesome song in a minute, and it talks about what a polygon is. It goes, a polygon is a shape with whose lines that connect. The number of sides tells us the name of the shapes. And it's such a fun song. I'm going to listen to it with my kids at school. I hope you listen to it at home because you will get it stuck in your head, and then you will always remember what a polygon is. A polygon, flat shape. It has to lay flat like a pancake. It is not 3D. It is a closed shape, meaning that there are no openings, there's no crisscrossing, nothing like that. It has straight lines and straight lines only, no curves allowed. This is the biggest point, no curves. And then it has to have at least 3 sides. Because remember, if it has 2 sides, it's not going to be a polygon because it'll be open like our angle. So our smallest polygon here is our triangle. And then we go all the way up to a 10-sided polygon here, which is a decagon. And we're going to be talking specifically about those types of polygons today. So these are all polygons. Let's talk about what is not a polygon. All of these polygons right here are not following the rules. Some have curves, some of them are open, some of them are crisscrossing, some of them are 3D, some of them are really close, but they have a gap. These are all not polygons, okay? Polygons are only shapes that have flat, straight sides that are connected, no curves, and they are not 3D, okay? And they are closed. All right, our first polygon. I'm so excited because I've made little characters for each of these shapes, so I hope you guys enjoy. This is my triangle. He is so cute. We love him. And he has 3 sides, which we all know. He has 1, 2, 3 sides. So that is our sides. He also has 3 corners of vertices. That's where our lines meet together. So basically 3 points. He's got 3 vertices, which is a vertex. 1, 2, 3. And he has 3 angles. When those corners meet together, these 2 lines make an angle. So he has 1, 2, 3 angles. A triangle, here are some examples of them. We have small triangles, long triangles. We have some triangles. This one right here specifically, this is called a right triangle because it has a right angle in it. This is when the corner looks exactly like a corner, like it's perfect, okay? Kind of on the other ones, you see how they're not like, this line's not straight and then the bottom line's not straight. We have one here, but like this one over here, the lines are all, they're connecting, but it's not making like a straight corner like this. So this is what we call a right angle. You don't have to know that yet, but that's just a fun fact. So these are all examples of triangles. I think we all know what a triangle is by now. We're in 3rd grade. All right, remember these have 3 sides, vertices, and angles. Next, let's talk about our quadrilateral. And you're probably thinking this was going to be a square. Nope, it's a quad. Quadrilateral has 4 angles, 4 sides, and 4 vertices. So this is how we're going to remember. I want you to say quadrilateral. We're going to have to clap it out because it's a big word. All right, here we go. Quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. I'm going to be calling this a quad because quad is a lot easier to say than quadrilateral. Quad, quadrilateral, whatever you want to call it. A quad is a 4-wheeler, okay? A quad is another name for a 4-wheeler. And how many wheels does a 4-wheeler have? Obviously 4. So that is how we remember this. Underneath quadrilateral, this one right here, this is a rhombus, but it has 4 sides, 4 angles, 4 corners, 4 vertices, and this is a quad. All of these are quads. We have a rectangle as a quadrilateral, a square is a quadrilateral, a rhombus is a quadrilateral, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral, a diamond is a quadrilateral. If it has 4 sides, it's a quad, okay? Because remember, quad, if you just have quad, it's Q-U-A-D, that's 4 letters. And also a quad is a 4-wheeler, vroom, vroom, so 4. Quad is 4, quad 4, quad 4. So all of these shapes fall under the category of quadrilaterals. Next, we have a pentagon. And a pentagon is what has 5 sides. He has 5 sides, 5 corners, and angles. He's so cute. We love him. Okay, this is how we remember a pentagon. Because a pen you hold with your hand, and when you hold a pen with your hand, you're using all 5 fingers. It takes 5 fingers to hold a pen. So pentagon has 5 sides because it takes 5 fingers to hold a pen. Pen. And also, if you want to think of penta, so the words right before pentagon, P-E-N-T-A, that's 5 letters. Penta. So pentagon, okay? Next, we have some examples of the pentagon. All of these have 5 sides, 5 corners, and 5 angles. So I want you to kind of take a minute and look at all these different shapes because none of them look the same, really. This is your classic pentagon over here. We have a building in Washington, D.C. built in this shape. When you look overhead, it's called the Pentagon. And then we have some random pentagons down here. Notice how they all have 5 sides, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these are considered pentagons because they all have 5 straight lines that connect. They all have 5 angles and 5 corners. You have to remember, too, all of these that we're talking about today are polygons because they all have straight lines. So all of these are polygons, but these are like specific kinds of polygons. So this is a pentagon because it takes 5 fingers to hold your pen. Penta has 5 letters in it. And pentagon, if you can count 5 sides, it's a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all pentagons. All right, next we got the hexagon. All right, the hexagon has 6 sides, vertices, and angles. All right, now I know what you're thinking. A stop sign must be a hexagon. A stop sign is not a hexagon. That's an octagon. We're going to get there. Hexagon looks very similar to an octagon because both are even numbers. But a hexagon has 6. This is how we're going to remember hexagon. Hex has an X in it. It's the only one that has an X in it. Just like the word 6 is the only one today that has an X in it. So hex and 6 go together. So hex and 6. Hexagon has 6. Hex and 6. These are also the shapes that bees make when they are making their hive, which I just think that's a cool fact. So these are little hexagons down here. All right, these are all examples of hexagons right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a traditional hexagon, but actually all of these shapes are hexagons. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really important when you're counting sides to not miss any. Like this little piece right here is considered its own side, and this is considered a separate side. This right here, you might be thinking, Miss Weaver, that's a quad. You would think it is, but watch as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a hexagon because it has 6. And remember, hex has an X and 6 has an X as well. So hex, 6 go together. This down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got to count all those little tiny sides as well, okay? So all of these are examples of hexagons, and hexagons is 6. 6 and hex go together. Next, this one is my favorite. This is the heptagon. The heptagon has a nickname, and it's Heppy the Hippie. And if you know anything about hippies, they are so friendly, so nice. They have 7 sides. So a heptagon, let me show you how you're going to remember. When they say Heppy the Hippie, you throw up a peace sign because we're like, yeah, peace, you know. And then they're also super friendly, so they're high-fiving somebody with their other hand. So Heppy the Hippie has a peace sign up on one hand and a high five up on the other. And that is how we get 7 fingers. So Heppy the Hippie is 7. 7, 7, 7, 7. So we have our peace sign, woohoo, and our high five with the other hand. So 7 is what heptagon goes with. It has 7 sides, 7 corners, and angles. We're going to start getting into some shapes that look a little freaked out because we're having to add 7 sides. So we have to make our polygons go in all kinds of different directions to get 7 sides. This over here is a traditional heptagon. This is probably what you're going to see. But you might also see a random polygon on a test where they ask you to count the sides and figure out what shape this is. So what we would do is we would count the sides. We would start, make sure you know where you started too, so you don't count that side twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, you have to count all of the sides, even the ones that go up underneath, even the little ones like this. Over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here, we have this shape that looks like a pair of pants. Let's see if this is a heptagon. 1, 2, count the bottom, 3, 4, count the inside, 5, bottom, 6, side, 7. So all of these are heptagons. Next, we're talking about an octagon. An octagon is super easy to remember because we all know the word octopus. And an octopus has 8 tentacles. So an octagon has 8 sides. This is your classic stop sign. If you see a picture of a stop sign, it has 8 sides. It is an octagon because it has 8 sides, just like an octopus has 8 tentacles. So octopus, octagon, 8, 8, 8. Let's look at some more octagons over here. Right here we have our stop sign looking object. We have our random shapes over here, man. So we're going to count these sides to see if these are all octagons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an octagon. And then this one is huge. That's okay. We're just counting the sides, okay? Let's start up at the top right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this little one right here makes it 8. So when you're counting the sides, make sure you go in a direction. Pick if you want to go around it like this or around it like this, but don't try to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and skip around because you will get the wrong number. So remember, an octagon goes with an octopus because they have 8 sides and 8 tentacles. Next, we have a nonagon. Guess what? This one's super easy because nonagon sounds like nonagon, and these are both the only ones that start with the letter N. So we have our nonagon guy over here. He's super cute and tall. He has 9 sides, and then this is a traditional nonagon over here. So if you notice, the nonagon, octagon, heptagon, hexagon, pentagon, they all start to kind of look the same. So you really have to pause and count the sides. Don't just guess by looking at the picture. Always, always, always count the sides. Okay, so nonagon is nonagon, so it has 9 sides. All of these are examples of nonagons. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of these are nonagons, okay? Nonagons, nonagon, nonagon, nonagon. Last but not least, we have the decagon. And the decagon can be a little tricky to remember. This is how I remember it. A decade is 10 years. So if you are 10 years old, you are a decade. That is because the word deca means 10. So decagon is 10, okay? So deca means 10, decade is 10. And honestly, if you can figure out the rest of them, decagon's the only one left over. So decagon is 10. It is our largest polygon that we're going to talk about in 3rd grade. There are much larger polygons that have way more than 10 sides, but we're not going to get into those right now. So a decagon has 10 sides. He's super cute and happy. Look over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, this shape looks very similar to a nonagon, an octagon, a heptagon, because they all start to look very, very close together. So that's why we have to stop, count the sides very carefully, count them again to make sure you got it right, and then identify what shape it is based on how many sides they have. So these are all decagons because they all have 10 sides. Let's look at our lightning bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In this random polygon here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Polygons are a lot easier to identify on paper because you're able to mark them with your pen or pencil whenever you're counting the sides. On your test, I would recommend getting some type of object or something and counting them with your finger as closely as to the monitor screen as you can to make sure you count them correctly. So as a review, our 3 sides is a triangle. We all know that. Our 4 sides is a quadrilateral, quad, because we ride a quad and it has 4 wheels on it. So it's a 4. Quad also has 4 letters in it. Then we have a pentagon. Okay, pentagon, pen. Oh, I know. I use a pen to write with. And when I look at my hand, I'm using all 5 fingers to use my pen. So that's 5. Pentagon is 5. Hexagon, hex. I hear that X sound. The only number that has an X in it is 6. So hexagon has 6 sides. Then we have Happy the Hippie. And Happy the Hippie is so friendly. She's always throwing up the peace sign, and then she's always giving a high five with her other hand. So she is 7. Heppy the hippie is 7. Then we have the octagon. Octagon has the same prefix as octopus. That's because an octopus has 8 tentacles. An octagon has 8 sides. So octagon, think of an octopus. 8, 8. And then we have nonagon, which sounds like nineagon because non and 9 go together. Nonagon has 9 sides. And then last but not least, we have a decagon. And a decagon has 10 sides because a decade, deca means 10. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go watch the Polygon song video. It's a lot more entertaining. And let me know if you need any help. Good luck, guys.